Hi, welcome back to Thrive America. Today I'm joined by a good friend and my personal CPA, Mr. Mark Wyssbrod. Mark, thanks for coming on our show this afternoon. And first, tell us a little bit about yourself and what Proactive does.
Well, thanks so much, Brent, for having me on your show today. Proactive CPA is primarily a tax and advisory firm that helps clients meet their goals, helping them make really good business decisions and personal finance decisions with an effective tax strategy.
Mark, let's kind of jump into
Sure.
your talking points today. As you know, we're kind of entering sort of a strange economic climate, and one of the reasons why we brought you on the show is to shed some light on this topic and kind of what we're going into and some key strategies that you feel that you can advise business owners to do to prepare, to plan, and get ready for this. And I'm really excited to go over some of the material that you have with us today. Your first point is building liquidity in your business. Can you educate me on what that means and what that is?
Sure, liquidity is just a measurement of current assets over current liabilities. Current assets primarily consist of cash, accounts receivables, and of course we only want to count the ones that are collectible, and then the inventory. And when we look at the inventory, only the inventory that's actually turning or selling. So if you have a piece of inventory that's been sitting there for 3 years, we would want to omit that. On the current liabilities portion, there's the accounts payable, credit cards, and other short-term debt.
So in preparing for 2009 and beyond, why is it important to build liquidity in your business?
Well, one thing we've faced and noticed that even in the good times, a lot of small businesses did not have any liquidity. So they were maybe had $1 to $1.50 in current assets to pay every dollar that they owed, which meant that there wasn't much wiggle room. And that's what's making this environment extremely tough for most small businesses. The reason liquidity is so important is it helps provide funds for current operations, but as we want to prepare ourselves to grow once again, I'm not sure that the banks will provide lines of credits as freely in the future, and we'll need some type of capital, equity or cash to help fuel our growth once again in the future.
Okay, so let me speak in layman's terms from what I kind of think I get what you're saying here. Is we want to improve our ability to get paid, and through that means, does that mean sending out, collecting on our invoices that have been sent out to our clients better?
Great, that's a great observation. Accounts receivables, we want to make sure when we're doing business with someone that we could also collect on that. So some of the solutions we're helping our clients or we're discussing with our clients are how are you collecting from your clients? How can you make it easy to collect from your clients? One great alternative in the internet age now is credit cards. Almost any business could set up a PayPal account or some online account payment system where they could take credit cards. Where people might not have the cash freely, they'll still use a credit card to help pay their bills. Making sure that you're taking a deposit or retainer, full or part on the front end, and collection of it at completion of work or when the product is shipped is something else that could help liquidity. And the final part is doing business with someone with character. Not every person that walks through your business's door you need to do business with. So let's make sure that we're doing business with the right people.
Great. So there's some advice you're giving on making it easy as possible for your customers to pay you, managing your inventory, right? And then just being savvy on who you do business with.
That's a great way to put it.
And I think just with your invoices, something that we do is we do our best to collect a deposit. Is that something that you might want us to advise on? Is that a good idea to do?
I think that's a great idea. right now. I think the catch-22 is a lot of businesses don't have the extra funds currently to make that deposit. So there's a little bit more risk in doing business with those people. It's also, do you trust the people you're doing business with? It's wonderful to provide an excellent service or product to someone who really needs it. But then if they're not going to pay you for those goods, that's your time, that's your energy, that could be your capital at risk. So if we can collect a deposit, we definitely want to.
Okay, so that's some great advice on building liquidity in your business as we prepare for the economy that we're about to, or that we're in, and we're gonna be in for a while. It looks like. Your next point here is becoming more efficient and productive. And from an accountant's point of view, what does that mean? What does that look like?
Well, during the past several years, small businesses have seen their revenues climb 5, 10, 20% a year very easily. They're used to that. This year, I think if you ask someone what's their revenue growth going to be, an optimist might say 0, and there's a lot of pricing pressure. So I don't think most small businesses can't grow their profitability through revenue growth. So we have to look at other factors that feed a company's profit, and that's direct costs and workflow, and the final major component is overhead. So in these more challenging times, we could see how we're doing the work, providing the services, and how can we improve that workflow. It might include, if you're a manufacturer of some type, a new piece of equipment that's more efficient than an old piece of equipment, or which will allow you to do more work in your business instead of having to sub something out.
It seems like we need to make smarter business decisions in the things that we buy, so we're not buying things that we don't need this year, but we're buying things more of a necessity, and research. So we research the things that we buy for our businesses more so than maybe we ever have.
I couldn't disagree with you. iPhones are wonderful, neat gadgets, but if they're not increasing your profitability or your efficiency, then that would be a frivolous waste of one's capital.
And now's the time to make those decisions. And you mentioned something about workflow that I want to tap into. How the workflow to me means internally, how can I run my business? How can I challenge my team to be more productive internally, so I can maximize the time that my team comes in here, so they're the most productive and efficient while they're here.
That's great. Correct. I think we have to become very creative and look at new processes and how can we do things better. And just going back to how can we do things better, sometimes to save money in the long run, we'll need to invest in the short run. We could either have a consultant to help us through these processes, or it goes back to purchasing a new piece of equipment that could pay for itself within 6 or 12 months. So being very mindful of the return on investments.
That's great. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a break now, and we'll return with your other two great points here in just a minute.
Okay.